Theo Fitzy is.
The Bee Movie. A movie about bees, and it's the reason Greta Thunberg who she is today. What's going on? Theo Fitzy here with a Bee Movie review. So the movie starts off with a Bible quote which really inspires me, and I love the movie because of this. But it really begins when our main protagonist, Barry B. Benson, who has finally graduated from school, doesn't want to keep the same job for the rest of his life. During this section we learn about jobs that they can do, and we find all bees are cousins, and Barry has a go at his best mate Adam for this. But then less than 5 minutes later, we see him flirting with females.
That girl was hot. She's my cousin. She is?
Yes, we're all cousins. Unless you're wearing it, and the ladies see you wearing it.
So, throughout the movie, we see Barry make a few goofs. The first of which is touching a tennis ball after being told no. We also learn that Barry has a very small brain, as he thinks he can fly through glass, and that the light bulb is a sun. This is because he plays Fortnite 25 hours a day. We finally, after 20 minutes of bees, meet our first human, Ken, who sounds a lot like Joe Swanson.
These are winter boots.
Hey, Peter.
We, the audience, are meant to see him as the big bad, because he tries to game end Barry for landing in his epic Doritos salsa dip. And just before Ken can game end Barry, our main female role, Vanessa, saves him, which she will soon regret later. This gets to Barry's head and he feels like he has to say something, leading on to another goof, talking to a human. At least he sorts this conversation off smoothly.
You like jazz?
Never mind. After watching some unbelievable bad acting and an old man falling off a ladder, Barry has a dream or a fantasy. You can't really tell about Vanessa, where she gets Thanos dusted into oblivion. This gives him enough strength to leave the hive and meet her again. They go to Vanessa's local corner store for God knows what. Before you can say Buzzy Bee twice, Barry snaps off Vanessa's shoulder, where he sees what humans are doing with bees' honey and decides to get to the bottom of it. He discovers the true horrors of bee farming and what takes place, so he has another small brain idea and thinks it's the best thing to sue all honey farmers. So when the bees have to go to the court, they have Vanessa as their lawyer, and the lawyer for all of the honey industry is Al from Al's Toy Barn. When Barry is questioning the owner of honey farms, he asks him why it's appropriate that a bear is the jar designed for the honey. His reason was build a bear, and Barry couldn't stand this, so snapped and brought the bear from over the hedge into this movie. After day one of the trial, Barry and Vanessa are having a meal with each other, discussing how it went, when Ken walks in, looking like my dad that we sent to get the bottle of milk 5 years ago. And Ken feels like he's had enough of Barry, so wants to game end him once and for all. This doesn't work, however, and he is asked to leave because Vanessa is mad at him. Also, fun fact, did you know that $150 million was put into the Bee Movie, and 147 of that 150 million went into a water physics engine to splash Ken in the face with what he calls poo water? When day 2 of the trial comes round, Al's Toy Barn is trying to aggravate Barry, but instead he really buzzes off Adam, who stings him. Unfortunately, Adam dies because of this. Barry ends up just going to his deathbed for about 2 minutes and goes back to the court with a bee smoking gun to show what it does. He eliminates about half his hive. If you couldn't tell, the Bee Movie has the Guinness Book of World Records for most deaths in a movie. This has more deaths in the singular movie compared to the whole Purge series. That's how many deaths there is. They win the court case because of this, and all seems well for now. After the court case, this is where Barry's biggest goof ever occurs, when all the bees stop pollinating flowers because they all have an excess amount of honey, so don't feel they have the need to work. And we see the truly terrifying effects it has on our ecosystem, and it's shown in one great way that everything is a dull grey colour, except from Barry and taxis, which are yellow, showing like bees, I guess. I really don't know why yellow, probably bees, but it's a really good way of showing the knock-on effect that it has on our ecosystem and why we need bees. Luckily for Vanessa and Barry, Vanessa is going to a parade that has the last flowers with pollen containing with them, so they have the big brain idea of stealing the flowers and taking them back on an aeroplane ride. So Barry goes into the cockpit and scares the co-pilot and pilot so much they end up passing out in fear. So it's up to Vanessa and Barry to land the plane. The movie Airplane would later steal this idea of non-experienced flyers landing a plane. But lucky for Barry and Vanessa, they do this by thinking B, and it works. And if you're wondering how Adam is alive, well, God gave him a second chance. Overall, I believe the B movie is the most perfect movie known to man, as it has the best plot I've ever heard of, and is a surreal experience that is fun for anyone to join alone or with a group of friends or family. So if you're new around here, please consider liking and subscribing. This did take a really long time to make, and I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.